So dear students, now let us see gamma functions and beta functions. See, these are special functions. These are known as special functions. So that's why they are given the special names gamma and beta functions. Actually, you have already seen what is a function. Normally we denote a function by f of x. Okay. So these are also functions of this kind, but these are of special type. So we will denote them in a separate symbol. Okay. So basically, as I told you, these are both are the functions. So we will study these functions in this chapter. These two functions are very easy to understand, and then for their formula, their properties are also very easy to simple, and the examples based on these functions we can solve very easily. So why they are special? They are being used in many branches of engineering. In different fields of engineering, whenever you try to attempt a problem, this kind of function occurs, and we require to solve the problem by using the function. So if we have the knowledge of these functions, then we can solve them very easily. Okay, and both functions are also known as improper integrals. Improper integrals. Both are known as improper integrals, and these improper integrals we have already seen in the last chapter. Okay, the chapter was improper integrals. We have seen that if the limits of integration are infinity, minus infinity or plus infinity, or 0 to infinity, a to infinity, or minus infinity to a, or if the limits are not infinity but the function is discontinuous in the interval ab, then we say that the function, the integration is improper integral, because here we want to see both the functions in the terms of integration. Normally you have seen the functions of this kind: f of x equal to e raised to x, f of x equal to sin x, or f of x equal to x plus x cube, like this kind of functions you might have seen. But here both the functions we will write in terms of integration, and so we also call them as integral functions. Integral functions. Okay. So both the functions we will define one by one, and we will see their properties. Then we will also see the relation between the two functions, beta function and gamma function. Okay. So let us start with gamma function. First we will see the definition of gamma function, and then we will see about its properties. So definition. Actually, gamma function, the improper integral integration 0 to infinity e raised to minus x into x raised to n minus 1 dx is known as gamma function. Here we will use capital G. Gamma function, n is denoted by this symbol C. This kind of symbol you will have to use. You don't use square root. This is not a square root, just a vertical line and then horizontal line above this, just like angular type. So this is gamma n. It is known as gamma n. The symbol is gamma n. If it is n plus 1, then we will extend the line up to containing n plus 1. Okay. So you can observe that gamma n is given in the form of integration. Actually, this is the function. Gamma n is the function. This is given in terms of integration, and the limits of integration are 0 to infinity, and that's why it is an improper integral. And inside it we have e raised to minus x, x raised to n minus 1 dx. And you will have to remember this definition. And once if you will remember this definition, then every problem can be solved very easily. Okay. So gamma function, once again I am repeating, gamma function is an improper integral which can be written in terms of integration 0 to infinity e raised to minus x, x raised to n minus 1. And once again here you can see that actually this is nothing but if we write this into the form of f of x, then this is written as f of n, because it is a function of n. Function of n, because here the integration is with respect to x. And when we integrate with respect to x, then finally we require to put the values of x, that is x equal to 0 and x tends to infinity. So x will be removed and only n will remain. So finally in the answer we will get terms containing n only, and that's why it is the function of n. Okay? Are you clear with this? Okay? And once again here you note that it is written into integration form because this is not integrated directly. This is not integrated directly. Its values we can determine by using different kinds of properties. So, and that's why now the gamma function is gamma n equal to integration 0 to infinity e raised to minus x into x raised to n minus 1 dx. Okay. So this is the definition of gamma function. So you must note down this definition, and simply you will have to remember this formula. Okay. Now I would like to add here that wherever it is the definite integration, and in definite integration if the limits are given a to b and the integration of f of x with respect to x, and that means these are the values of x. Actually we are not writing this, actually it is nothing but x equal to a to x equal to b, but as we are understanding this, no need to write down this every time that x equal to a and x equal to b. So it is the definite integral, that means finally we require to put the values of x here. So x will be removed. So x has no impact on the integration, that means variable has no impact on the integral. So instead of x we can also write y, you can also write z, you can also write t, whatever you want. Finally answers of both will be the same, because the values here, these are the values of y, and we are substituting the value of y, so y will not remain there, only some particular value will be there. So you must understand this concept also. And here in this definition, you must remember that this definition is true only if n greater than 0. N can be any real number, but it must be greater than 0. That means n is a positive real number. Your positive real number. Okay? N is positive real number. That means this definition we cannot use for n equal to 0 and for n less than 0, but here n is less 0, but here n equal to -1, -2, -3, -4. That means for negative integers it is not defined. For n equal to 0 and for negative integers we cannot have the values of gamma n. This once again this definition we can use only for n greater than 0, that means positive real numbers. But here further in our study we will see that for negative numbers and non-integers we can have the values of gamma n, but we will make the use of another formula to find out for negative numbers, but it is not defined for -1, -2, -3, -4, 0, etc. Yes, we can find the values for n equal to -2.5 or -2.3.4 like this. Okay, but at n equal to -1, -2, -3 we cannot find the values. Okay, now let us see the properties of gamma n. So first property is that gamma n plus 1 equal to n gamma n. So here you can see that I have extended the line up to 1 and this up to this only. Okay, so we will prove this one, and this is very easy to prove. So proof, this is simply you require to remember the definition. Once you will write down the definition, then everything will be very easy. So here you should write down that we know that gamma n plus 1 equal to gamma n equal to integration 0 to infinity e raised to minus x raised to n minus 1 dx. Now we want to prove this gamma n plus 1 equal to n gamma 1. So therefore you must write down, because we are using the new step. So gamma n plus 1 equal to, here in this definition we will replace n by n plus 1. So wherever is n, you put n plus 1. So 0 to infinity e raised to minus x raised to n plus 1 minus 1, that means n only. N plus 1 minus n, that is, it is n plus 1 x raised to n only. Okay, now we will integrate this one. This is an improper integral, so we will have to write down here integration of 0 to t. We have already seen the process, and here we will write down t tends to infinity. So e raised to minus x into x raised to n dx. So I told you that this integration is not very easy, and we cannot solve it completely. However, we are making attempt to solve this. So we will make use of integration by parts. So we will assume by using LIATE rule, we will assume this as u and this as v. So we will have this equal to, u will remain as it is. You must be knowing integration of u v dx equal to u integration v dx minus integration of u dash, that means derivative, into integration of v dx. Okay, this you must have seen. So x raised to n is here, and integration of e raised to minus x is minus e raised to minus x. You must be knowing this. And minus integration 0 to t, here the limits are from 0 to t. So x raised to n is the derivative, n x raised to n minus 1. And integration of e raised to minus x is minus e raised to minus x dx. Okay, so this is the thing. Now this equal to limit t tends to infinity. We will have here, it is minus x raised to n e raised to minus x minus 0 to t here you can see that minus will come outside, so it will become plus. N also will come outside because the integration is with respect to x. So everything else except x we are considering as constant. So it is x raised to n minus 1 into e raised to minus x dx. Okay. So now we put the limit t tends to infinity. Okay. Sorry, here. Okay, no problem. Here also we will have to write down 0 to t. 0 to t, and here also from 0 to t. 0 to t, because in integration whenever we integrate then we should put the limit. So now this is nothing but t tends to infinity. If we put here t, then we will have this is minus t raised to n e raised to minus t, then plus will become this will become plus when we put 0. So x is 0, so it is 0 plus n integration 0 to t x raised to n minus 1 e raised to minus x dx. Okay. So now see what will happen. We put the t tends to infinity, so e raised to minus infinity is 0. Already we have seen this kind of limit in the last chapter in proper integrals. It has the value 0. Okay. So it is 0, it is also 0. So this is what? N integration 0 to infinity. Now it will become e raised to infinity. Actually, I told you that this integration cannot be solved completely. So we will keep this as it is. Now, what is this? This you can see that n, which kind of this integral is this? This is nothing but the original definition. You can see here e raised to minus x, x raised to n minus 1 dx. So this is nothing but gamma n. This is nothing but gamma n. So we have started it with gamma n plus 1 and we proved that this is equal to n gamma n, and that's why this is the result. That means we have proved it. Okay. So you note down this proof. You note down this proof. The proof is very easy. So now I will rub it out. Now we will prove that gamma 1, we will find from this definition what is gamma 1. So n equal to 1. So 0 to infinity e raised to minus x, x raised to 1 minus 1, that means x raised to 0 dx, but x raised to 0 is 1 itself. So its integration is e raised to, actually we will have to use limit of t tends to infinity, and it is 0 to t, and it is e raised to minus x dx. So limit t tends to infinity, the integration of e raised to minus x is e raised to minus x dx. So this is this. So limit t tends to infinity. Now we will put upper limit t, x equal to t. So minus e raised to minus t. Then we will put lower limit 0. So it will become plus, minus minus plus. E raised to 0 is 1. Okay. Then we will put the limit, find the limit t tends to infinity. But we know that e raised to minus infinity tends to 0. So it is 0. 0 plus 1, that means 1. That's why we have proved that gamma 1 equal to 1. So you must remember this value. Gamma 1 equal to 1. Now, from this property, in this property we know that n greater than 0 and n is any real number. N is any real number. N greater than 0 and n is any real number. But now, if n is positive integer, n is positive integer, then what will happen? That let us see. Now we are focusing on only n is positive integer. Okay. So for that, let us see. I think you have noted this. Now when n is positive integer, then actually it is also known as recurrence relation. Before of that, just recurrence relation of gamma function. Gamma function. Recurrence relation means what? Recurrence relation means that the function can be expressed in terms of itself. The function, whatever the function, if it can be expressed in terms of itself, then the relation that means the formula or equation, whatever we get, is known as recurrence relation. Here we can see that this gamma is expressed in terms of itself. That means gamma n plus 1 and gamma n both are these are written in the form of a relation. So the function itself is written in terms of itself. That means gamma n plus 1 are equal to n gamma n. So it is known as recurrence relation. So you must remember this. So now we will find out what will happen when n is positive integer. So n is positive integer, that means we will start with this definition. We know that n gamma n plus 1 equal to n gamma n. In this formula we will replace, and actually recurrence relation has the meaning what? This we can solve recursively. That means reducing the order of n one by one. Reducing the order of n one by one, and that we will do here. N is positive integer, so we will replace here n by n minus 1. So wherever is n by n minus 1, we will replace n by n minus 1. So wherever is n, we will put n minus 1. So here it will become n plus n minus 1 plus 1. So n, here it is n minus 1. So wherever is n, we will put there n minus 1. Once again here we will replace in this n by n minus 1. So it will become n minus 1, it will become n minus 1 minus 1, that means n minus 2, and this will become n minus 2. Once again we will replace in this formula. That means the actually recurrence relation means what? If gamma n plus 1 equal to n gamma n, then the value of this gamma n, that means on right hand side, can be obtained from the same formula repeatedly, that means recursively. So here once again, to find out the value of gamma n minus 2, in the same formula we will replace n by n minus 1. So n minus 1 minus 1, so gamma n minus 2. So this will become n minus 3 into gamma n minus 3. So we can continue in this way. So here we can see that we have started from n plus 1, then n minus 1, n minus 2. That means every time n is reducing by 1. Suppose n equal to 10, then we can get 9, 8, 7, up to dot 3, 2, 1. Finally we will stop at 1. N is positive integer. So here n is positive integer and n is reducing by 1 at every time. So finally we can reach up to 1. We can reach up to 1, 2, 3. But here I will write down gamma 2. You can also write down gamma 3, gamma 4, but I don't want to write down more and more steps. So I will write down gamma 2. So here I will put n equal to 2. What will happen? N equal to 2, then 2 minus 1, that means 1, into gamma 1. And gamma 1 equal to 1. Already we know. Okay? So these are the values which we have obtained one by one from this recurrence relation. Gamma n here, gamma n minus 1, gamma n minus 1 here. So now we multiplying these results, we will multiply all these results. So what will we get? You know that on left hand side we will get gamma n plus 1 into gamma n minus 1 into gamma n minus 2 dot into gamma 2 into gamma 1. And on right hand side we will get n gamma n into n minus 1 gamma n minus 1 into n minus 2 gamma n minus 2 dot 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 1 gamma 1 into 1. Okay, and we know that on left hand side and right hand side, if some terms are multiplied on left hand side and on right hand side some terms are multiplied and same terms are appearing, then we can cancel them out. You may be knowing that if we are given here a into 3 and here b into 3 into 5, then this 3 and 3 can be cancelled. So you can see that on left hand side we will have gamma n, on the right hand side we will have gamma n plus 1. So this will be cancelled out. Same, this can be cancelled out, this can be cancelled out, this can be cancelled out, this can be cancelled out. So what will remain? We can get on left hand side only n plus 1 will remain. You can see only n plus 1 will remain. And on right hand side what will remain? N into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into n minus 3 dot 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 1. 1 into 1. Okay? So the value of gamma n plus 1 is n minus 1, n minus 2 dot dot 1. And what is this? This is nothing but n factorial. This is nothing but n factorial. Okay? But gamma n plus 1 equal to n factorial, we can write down. Actual recurrence relation gives gamma n plus 1 equal to n gamma n. But we can write down gamma n plus 1 equal to n factorial only when n is positive integer. Okay? You must remember, n is positive. Sometimes factorial n can also be written into this form, this symbol. Okay? So factorial, but mostly we will use this symbol. Just like exclamation mark. So you note down this one. Okay. So here, if we are asked to find out gamma 5, what can we write? Actually, we know that gamma n plus 1 equal to n factorial. Okay? Gamma n plus 1 equal to n factorial. So gamma n equal to n minus 1 factorial. Obviously, because here if we replace n by n minus 1, that means n minus 1 plus 1 is n. So gamma n equal to n minus 1 factorial. So what is gamma 5? Gamma 5 is 4 factorial. And we know that 4 factorial is nothing but 24. Similarly, we can find gamma 7, gamma 8, gamma 12. This is nothing but 11 factorial. Okay? So we can find out such values. But if we want to find out the value of gamma 5 by 2, suppose gamma 5 by 2, then we need to use this formula. Gamma n plus 1 equal to n gamma n. Gamma n plus 1 equal to n gamma n. Or in this, if we replace n by n minus 1, we can get gamma n equal to n minus 1 gamma n minus 1. So in this formula we replace n by 5 by 2. So n equal to 5 by 2. So 5 by 2 minus 1 is what? 3 by 2 into gamma 3 by 2. So it is the recursive relation. So we can again find out the value of gamma 3 by 2. The same formula. So to find out the values on right hand side, we can use the same formula again and again. So here we put n equal to 3 by 2 now. So 3 by 2 minus 1 is what? 1 half. And this is gamma 1 half. Okay. Further we cannot proceed because 1 half minus 1 will become minus 1 half. So gamma minus 1 half. And we can get confused there. So we will stop here this value. And in the coming examples, we will see that gamma 1 half equal to root pi. Gamma 1 half has the root pi. This we will derive next time. Okay. So we can find out the values of gamma 5 by 2, gamma 7 by 2, whatever it is in this way. And gamma 5, actually gamma 5 also we can find out in this way by using the same formula. Gamma 5, n equal to 5. So 5 minus 1, 4 into gamma 4. Okay. 4 into gamma 4 again we can find out n equal to 4. So it is 3 into gamma 3. 4 into 3. Gamma 3 is what? Again we put 3. 3 minus 1. That means 2. Gamma 2. Okay. Again 4 into 3 into 2. Gamma 2 is what? N equal to 2. So 1 into gamma 1. 1 into gamma 1. But gamma 1 equal to 1. And we know that 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 is 4 factorial. Okay. Now, let us see. We have seen that this formula is true only for n greater than 0. Okay? And from this formula we have derived a formula recurrence relation gamma n plus 1 equal to gamma n. And I told you initially that we can have the values of gamma n for negative non-integers. Negative non-integers. That means at integers we cannot find, but at non-integers we can find out. So to find out this at non-integers, if we write this recurrence relation in separate way, that means if we write down, take this gamma n on left hand side, and we will write down this as gamma n plus 1 equal open n, then we can find by using this for negative integers. That means n negative and n is non-integer. N is non-integer. Non-integer, that means n is not equal to minus 1, n is not equal to minus 2, n is not equal to minus 3, etc. Okay? So for positive we can use this, and for negative we will make the use of this. And this, if it is written into this form, then we can find out for negative integers. For suppose if I want to find out gamma minus 5 by 2. So here what will happen? I will have to use this formula. I will put n equal to minus 5 by 2. So minus 5 by 2 plus 1. Minus 5 by 2 plus 1 is what? Minus 5 plus 2. That means minus 3. Minus 3 by 2 divided by n equal to minus 5 by 2. Okay? So this can be written as minus 2 by 5. To find out minus 3 by 2, again we use this formula. So here we put n equal to minus 3 by 2. So minus 3 by 2 plus 1. Minus 3 by 2 plus 1 is what? Minus 1 half divided by minus 1 half. Okay? So this can be written as this minus minus will become plus. So 2 upon 5 into this is 2 upon 1. And gamma minus 1 half. To find out gamma minus 1 half, we will again use this formula. We put n equal to minus 1 half. So minus 1 half plus 1. Minus 1 half plus 1 is gamma 1 half. And divided by 1 half. Okay? So this is n equal to minus 1 half. We are substituting n equal to, here not gamma minus 1 half, here is minus 3 by 2. So it is 2 by 3. So it is minus 1 half. So it is minus 2 by 5 into 2 by 3 into 2 by 1, and gamma 1 half is root pi, as I discussed to you. So we can find out for negative numbers by using this formula. So we have both kinds of formulas for this one. Okay, so you note down this one. So now let us understand this by using the graph. Suppose this is n and this is gamma n axis. Just as we are writing x f of x. F of x is y, x axis, y axis. Okay? So here, suppose this is the point 1, 2, 3. This is say minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, etc. So the graph on right hand side is just like this. It will increase from 0 to 1. Decrease. It will decrease from 0 to 1 because near 0, and 0 it is not defined. Gamma 0 is undefined. undefined. Just like gamma minus 1 is also undefined, gamma minus 2 is also undefined, like this. Okay, so here it will decrease. Then suddenly for n greater than 1 it will increase and it will go in this way. And here between 0 and minus 1, at minus 1 it is not defined, at 0 also it is not defined. So its graph is just like this. It will not touch, but its graph is just like this. Between minus 2 and minus 1 every values are positive and its graph is just like this. Similarly here its graph is just like this. Okay, so we can have the graph of gamma function is in this way. So you can see from the graph that the gamma function is not defined at 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Okay, everywhere else it is defined. And for positive we will use this, and for negative we will make gamma n equal to gamma n plus 1 upon n. So its definition we can also write as, this is for n greater than 0 and gamma n plus 1 upon n for n less than 0 and n is not equal to 0, minus 1, minus 2, dot dot dot. Okay, so this is the complete definition of gamma function, and you can note down this. Now let us see one example. It is just like example also, or extended definition of gamma function also. Prove that gamma n equal to 2 integration 0 to infinity e raised to minus x square into x raised to 2n minus 1 dx. Okay, so we want to prove this one, and this is very easy. This is very easy to prove. Solution. You can also remember this in further examples. If you want to simplify the example, then you can make the use of this property. So here, first of all, to solve each and every examples based on gamma function. In gamma function, you must note that one is e raised to minus x function is involved and one is x. Okay, so to solve each and every function based on gamma function, you must write down the basic definition of gamma function. So, and this you can start always with the word sentence we know that. If you don't know, or if you know, whatever is, but you must start with we know that, because there nobody will in there during your assessment of the supplementary that you know or not know. But if you write down this sentence, then there will be a great impact on you. Okay, we know this one. Okay, and we want to prove gamma n, same gamma n equal to this one. So here in this problem, we will put here in this problem x equal to put, because we want here t square, x equal to t square. This is no matter, there is no problem with this one, automatically it will come, but must focus on the power of e. So here is x and here we want x square, so we will put x equal to t square in this definition. So what will happen, whenever we put x equal to t square, then dx will also change. So dx equal to 2t dt. Okay, dx equal to 2t dt. And the limits will also change. That means when t equal to x equal to 0, what will be happen? T equal to 0. And when x equal to infinity, never we write this as infinity. So x equal to infinity, this implies t tends to infinity. Therefore, we have gamma n equal to integration 0 to infinity e raised to minus t square, and here x equal to t square, so this will become t raised to 2n minus 2 t square, so 2n minus 2, and dx is what? 2t dt. Okay, so these two we will take outside, and it is what? E raised to minus t square into t raised to 2n minus 2, and this is t raised to 1. So 2n minus 2 plus 1. This is nothing but 2n minus 1 dt. Okay. And already I told you that this is the definite integral. So here we write t or x, whatever it is same. So here we replace the variable t by x. If you don't replace, then also it will do. But just to put it to similar form, just we will replace the variable t by x. It is same thing. So we can see that gamma n equal to this has been proved. Okay. So you can note down this problem. Then we will also see more and more problems based on gamma function, and at the same time we will also see about beta function. Okay. Then we will see their relation and solve the examples together with both beta and gamma functions. Okay. So till then you can revise this topic, whatever I taught to you in this lecture during the remaining time of this lecture. Okay.